In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and specially merciful. Welcome back, dear students, to today's lecture. I hope you are all doing well and you are safe and sound with your family members. Let's get started, dear students. In previous lecture, we talked about past continuous tense with all cases, and we also discussed future tense. I hope you all understood and you have done the exercises, relevant exercises in the book which I have recommended to you, right? So in this lecture we will be talking about present perfect with all cases, and we will also discuss present perfect continuous tense, and finally we'll talk about the contrast between present perfect and present perfect continuous tense. So let's take on with it. Okay. The very first thing in present perfect continuous tense is the structure. So let's study the structures of present perfect tense. Sorry, not present perfect continuous tense. Present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. So, dear students, we have to study the structures first. All the structures we should study of present perfect continuous tense. So the very first structure we have the positive structure of present perfect continuous tense, which is subject. After subject we have have or has. These are the perfective auxiliaries, plus third form of the verb. What? Third form of the verb or third verb. So plus complement and plus dot. Okay, there, students, this is the positive structure of present perfect tense. Let me explain why do we use subject here. Before I explain this, I want to ask you a question. Why do we use subject here? Can anyone tell me why do we use subject here? We use subject to make base of a sentence. Without subject, we cannot make any tense. If there is no subject, there is no sentence, right? Sorry, without subject, we cannot make a sentence, not a tense. That's my mistake. And have, what's have? Have is the perfective auxiliary. What is have? Have it, both of them. Both of them are called perfective auxiliaries. We use them to make a perfect tense. Without have or has, we cannot make any perfect tense. There should be have or has in any perfect tense. And then we have the third form of the verb. The third form of the verb are used to show the completion of an action. So they are used with the have or has. So this have or has plus third form of the verb is a general structure. So remember, it's a rule that in present perfect tense we use the third form of the verb. And then we have complement. What do we have? We have complement. Okay, complement is the taken from the word complementator. So we say the words and expressions which are put together to complete the meaning of the sentence is called complement. Okay, let's go through the example. So we have, for example, I will just make two examples. We have taught, or we have visited the museum. Museum, if the spelling is not mistaken. Museum. No, it's like we have visited the museum. You see, have is a subject, right? And we is a subject, and have is a perfective auxiliary. Visit is visit is the first form of the verb. Ted is the third form of the verb. The museum is a complement, right? Another example for he has, for singular we use has. He has studied math. He has studied what? He has studied math. A very simple example. You see, he, the subject of the sentence, and has perfective auxiliary, and studied is the third form of the verb. It's also written, the contracted form can be he is, it's pronounced like is, apostrophe, he is, and we have, right? We have or he is. These are the contracted forms, okay? Now then we have, after this we have positive negative structure. So for negative structure we have subject plus have or has plus not plus third verb and plus complement plus dot. So dear students, you can see here verb complement can also be possible. You can say it verb complement, no difference. So you see that only not is added here. As I said in previous lecture, that not is negation adverb. It changes positive sentence into negative. Whenever you want to change a positive sentence into negative, just simply add not with the auxiliary verb of the mentioned tense. Okay, so now let's change the sentence into negative. First sentence, we have not, right? We have not, or the contracted form is haven't. We have not or haven't visited the museum. We have not visited the museum. You see the sentence? He has not or hasn't visited the museum. You see this? Now negative structure of present perfect tense. Okay, that's the present negative structure. Good. Now after this we have positive interrogative. What do we have? Positive interrogative. Positive, and there should be question mark, a positive interrogative. So we have the auxiliary verbs of present perfect tense are have, has. After that we use subject. After that we use third form of the verb plus complement plus question mark. So now let's change the first example. Have we visited the museum? Have you visited the museum? Question mark. If you have visited, if the answer is yes, you should say yes, we have. Right? The second one is has he. Oh, sorry. Here should be studied. No problem. Has he studied math? Has he studied math? If the answer is no, so no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. That's a positive interrogative. Now let's move to the negative interrogative, right? So for negative interrogative, we have two kinds of structure for negative interrogative. We have first formal have or has plus subject plus not plus subject plus not plus third verb plus complement and plus question mark. Formal structure. So we say the examples: have we not visited the museum? Have we not visited the museum? Should be question mark. And then we say, has he not studied math? Has he not studied math? Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. Then next we have formal structure. We say have or has plus not plus subject plus third verb plus complement plus question mark. You see, haven't, or it's also possible to be said has not, hasn't hasn't she, what, hasn't she, oh sorry, there's no she, hasn't he studied math, hasn't he studied math, or haven't we visited the museum? Yes, he has. No, he no. Yes, we have. No, we haven't. So, dear student, these were the structures. One structure, the other type of structure in present perfect tense, which is rarely common. It's less common. People use it. Still, we use it. It's called the state structure. What? A state structure, which shows existence and state. What are that? So we only have here a positive one. We have subject, we have been, and we have a complement. This is the also structure of present perfect tense. For example, we have she has been my student. She has been my student. You see the sentence? If you want to change it to negative, that's just bring has to the beginning of at the beginning of a sentence. Has she been my student? Just like that. Positive, interrogative. Sorry, I didn't say negative. So I would say she has not been my student. You see? And then you say, has she not been my student? Or has she not, hasn't she been my student? Okay, you can make a lot of examples. For example, I have been to Kabul, or we have been in JLD, Jalalabad. JLD. So this is, it just shows existence and state. So dear students, these were structure of present perfect tense. Let's talk about the usages of present perfect tense. Why do we use this tense? Let's start. Okay, the usage we have, it's called present perfect tense. Why do we call present? Because it's in the family of the present. That's hence we call it present. And why do we call it perfect? Because it shows the completion of an action. Therefore, we call it perfect tense. And why do we call tense? So you know what is tense, don't you? Grammatically, tense can function as a verb as well, right? So here it is it functions as a noun. So we say that tense is any of the forms of verb that show the time, continuance, or completion of an action or state that is expressed by the verb, right? Remember that the students, perfect tenses show the completion of an action, right? Perfect tenses. Continuous tenses shows the continuance of an action or continuation of an action. And the other tenses, like simple tenses, they show the time of an action. That's why time is specific in all these. It's also called all those tenses. It's also called the past in relation to the present tense, right? These are the name of the tense. The general structure is this. We talked about the structure. The third form of the verb or present participle form of the verb is used here. So the first usage of present perfect tense is it expresses an action which happened or never happened during a period of time that continues from past to the present. Shogurdoni Aziz, it expresses an action which happened or never happened during the period of time that جریانی یک وقت یک مدت that continues from past to up to present که از ماضی با حال جریان داشته باشه. Sorry. Okay. که از ماضی به حال جریان داشته باشد. مثلا he has met his friends. It means that it started in the past and come to present, right? این عمل در چی شروع شده یا واقع شده از گذشته تا حال هم جریان داره, right? she has eaten at the restaurant. او میگه در نمو رستوران خوراک میکرد یا خوراک کرده است. شما میبینین اگر اینجا present perfect اینجا past بیایه, اینجا present میایه, اینجا future است. okay? So an action started here. یک عمل دوستای خود از اینجا دیده است تا حال آمده و همین قسم امکان داره گذشته یعنی مستقبل برود. هرگاه که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که در ماضی واقع شده باشه یا نشده باشه و حال بیایه, امکان داره که مستقبل بره و یک استعمال دیگه همیزی قطعی ربط داره و ما میخوانیم که دو با سنس فار استفاده میشه میخوانیمشان. So it shows that actions. Okay, این قسم عملا را نشان میده به ما. Next. Second usage. It is used to show the repetition of an action. یک استعمال بسیار مهم present perfect tense است. It is used to show the repetition of an action with the adverb time like once, twice, thrice or 3 times, many times, several times, couple of times, and so on. Remember, dear students, that one of the most important usages of present perfect tense is the repetition of an action. It expresses that an action happened twice, thrice, 4 times, many times, several times, a couple of times. Whenever you want to talk about an action which happened several times, many times, so you better use present perfect tense in order to express such actions. Okay. So شاگردان عزیز, یکی از مهمترین استعمال های present perfect tense این است که present perfect tense که است با ما یک تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهد, right? هدف از این است که در یکی از ما adverb of time را استفاده میکنیم, قیدهای وقت را استفاده میکنیم. به طور مثال once یک دفعه, twice 2 دفعه, thrice 3 دفعه, many times زیاد دفعه, several times یک جوره دفعه یا چند دفعه. این چیزها را استفاده میکنیم, اینا را قیدهای وقت یا زمان میگن, right? اینها توسط اینها ما تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهیم و در کدام زمانه؟ در present perfect tense. We have visited each other many times. ما یک دیگر زیاد وقت دیدیم, یعنی زیاد دفعه ما یک دیگر دیدیم. ولی هرگاه که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که اون عمل به طور مکرر یعنی به طور تکراری واقع شده باشه, present perfect tense که است او عمل نشان میدهد. Second we have is she has read that book twice. او میگه این کتاب را 2 دفعه خوانده است. چند دفعه؟ 2 دفعه. You see, این کتاب مثلا یک کس برات میگه که let's watch کل هوران ها, بیا یک فیلم کل هوران ها را ببینیم. و تو میگی که نه والله چند دفعه فیلم ما دیدیم. So you say I have watched this movie 4 times. Personally I watched this movie 17 times, right? 17 times. او ما میگیم که 1000 دفعه برش گفتیم. I have told him 1000 times come on time. 1000 دفعه برش گفتیم که وقت بیا. یا ما بر چند دفعه بگویم how many times like چند دفعه برات گفتیم how many times have I told you, right? So هرگاه که شما تکرار یک عمل نشان میدهین شما باید present perfect tense را استفاده کنین. Okay, this was the second usage. Now let's move on to the third usage of present perfect tense. So third usage is it expresses an action which happened in the recent or immediate past. So in this case we use just, recently, lately, or usually in this case they are used, right? Just, recently, lately, they are what? They are adverbs of indefinite time, okay? Lately they are adverbs of indefinite time. So it expresses an action. یک عمل به ما یک عمل نشان میدهد شاگردان عزیز که در recent past که در immediate past در چی میگن در ماضی نزدیک واقع شده باشه یا immediate past در ماضی نزدیک فقط یک چند لحظه پیش شده باشه. اما یاد داشته باشین که وقتش معین نباشه, وقتش مشخص نباشه. که وقتش مشخص شد باز simple past tense ما شما استفاده میکنیم. Okay, so now just, recently and lately are usually in this case. So suppose Asya has lately learned how to drive. Asya has lately learned how to drive. Sonia has just finished writing a book. خب شاگردان عزیز، ما گفتم که هر وقت که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که در ماضی نزدیک واقع شده باشه، وقت مشخص نباشه، ما شما present perfect tense را استفاده میکنیم که در این استعمال ما just, recently and lately را استفاده میکنیم. Just recently, just means فقط، recently در وقتهای آخر، یا lately در این نزدیکی ها we use this. For example, Asia has lately learned how to drive. آسیا میگه حاله چند وقت پیش یاد کرده که چطور رانندگی کنن، رانندگی کنه. Sonia has just finished writing a book. سونیا میگه چند لحظه پیش کتاب نوشتن شروع کردن. مثلا کسی آمد برای گفت که احمد چی شد؟ Where is Ahmad? So you say Ahmad has just gone. احمد فقط چند لحظه پیش رفت. Has just gone means چند لحظه پیش رفت. یا I have been calling. You have been coming to my room a lot lately. You know, lately means, or you have been not picking up my phone lately. You know, or recently. Recently, I have like for example, you have not. دوز example های قبلا گفتم بود present perfect continuous tense بودن. اما میگم که you have not picked my phone lately, or they have not answered my phone lately, or we have not seen him recently. این کلمات را با present perfect tense نشان میدهیم. یعنی عملی که چند لحظه پیش واقع شده باشه، در این وقت ما present perfect tense را استفاده میکنیم که تا یک عمل با ما نشان بدهد. Okay, so the second usage, the fourth usage of present perfect tense is it shows an action which happened in the past but it has present effects. This usage is very common. So whenever you want to show an action that happened in the past but has effect with the present, so you should use present perfect tense in this case. Okay. For example, she has cut her finger with a knife. Now the result is the effect, or the result is now it's bleeding. So B, he has eaten all the chocolates. Now the result or the effect to the present is there is no chocolate left. No chocolate is left. So that's why it's called present related to future tense, right? Or future present relation tense. It's because it shows the past result in the present. Whenever you want to show the past result in the present, so you have to use present perfect tense. خب شاگردان عزیز، یک چهارم استعمال present perfect tense این است که ای به ما یک عمل نشان میدهد که در گذشته واقع شده است، اما اثر یا تاثیرش یا نتیجهش در حال است. مثلا حالا ببینین she had cut her finger with a knife. حالا میگه چی؟ مثلا یک کس از گریان میکنه، چیغ میزنه، یک سوال میکنه که چرا چیغ میزنه، چرا گریان میکنی؟ یک دیگه برش میگه she has cut her finger with a knife. او میگه انگشت خود با چاقو بریده است. حالا ریزالتش چی است که it is bleeding، حالا خون میریزه، سو ریزالتش است. یا مثلا شما سیر هستین، سیر خوراک کردین دیگه نمیخواین بخورین، شما میگین I have eaten my breakfast, I have eaten my lunch. اوکی، مطلب این است که ما سیر هستم، ریزالتش این است که ما دیگه نمیخوایم. اگر ریزالت دیگه میشتوا داشته باشین، if you still have appetite، باز خود گفتین که I ate my breakfast, yeah, I ate my lunch. But the present perfect tense نیبل که simple past tense باید بگوین این جمله را. بیره ببینین he has eaten all the chocolates. او میگه کل چاکلت ها را خورده است. ریزالتش چی است؟ افکتش چی است که حال چاکلت یک چاکلت هم نمانده است، یعنی کل چاکلت ها را خورده است، دیگهش نمانده. یا مثلا میبینی که باران باریده است. For example, you see it has rained. باران باریده است و زمین اگر تر باشه، هوا سرد باشه، میفهمین که در ماضی کار شده است اما ریزالتش در حال است. right. در این وقت باید شما present perfect tense استفاده کنین. یعنی هر وقت که شما یک عمل در مورد عمل صحبت میکنید که در گذشته واقع شده است، در حال ریزالتش است، شما باید present perfect tense را استفاده کنین. امیدوار هستم که این استعمال چهارم را شما فهمیده باشین شاگردان عزیز. این تو زیاد اگزامپل ها هستن. For example, you see a person is breathless, right? شما میبینید که یک شخص بریتلس هستد، یعنی سایش بند میشه. ازش سوال میکنی که hey what happened چه شده، و میگن که I have run a lot. I have run a lot means خیلی زیاد دویدم. ریزلتش این است که I am just I can breathe well. so هر وقت که شما در مورد عمل صحبت میکنین که در اون ریزلت در حال باشه، عمل در گذشته شده است، در ماضی واقع شده است، ریزلتش در حال است، شما باید present perfect tense استفاده کنین. right? Okay, I hope you understood the fourth usage of present perfect tense. Okay, let's move on to the fifth usage of present perfect tense. It can also be used to show habitual actions with the use of the adverb of frequency. It can also be used to show habitual actions. این میگه هم استفاده میشه که نشان بده habitual عادتی عملها را with the use of the adverb of frequency. که اینجا ما adverb of frequency را استفاده میکنیم. adverb of frequency را خوشاگردان از شما میفهمین. میتونین ما ایره خوانده بودیم adverb of frequency که تکرار یک عمل را نشان میدهد. adverb of frequency they show the repetition of an action که عبارت هستند always, usually, sometimes, often, never, rarely, seldom. اینا چی هستن؟ frequency adverb هستن. خب به توسط frequency adverbs یا قیدهای تکراری it can be used to show habitual action استفاده میشه که به ما عملهای عادتاً را نشان بدهد. okay مثلا he has always gambled همیشه قمار کرده است، یعنی از گذشته تا حال. یک قسم یه عمل است که از گذشته شروع شده است. past, here we have present and here we have future. This is the diagram of a tense. این diagram tense است. مثلا از گذشته امی عمل شروع کرده است. وقت معلوم است؟ نه. که وقت معلوم باشه باز ما ایره استفاده نمی کنیم. یک عادتش است که از گذشته شروع شده است. هر وقت که شما در مورد یک عادت صحبت میکنین که در گذشته شروع شده باشه تا حال بیایه. So you have to use present perfect tense. See, with the help of frequency adverbs. If you do not use frequency adverbs, then it doesn't show a habitual action. It just shows the simple action, right? We start in the past and comes to present. B. He has never gotten the first position. See, never. و میگه هیچ وقت اول نمرگی را نگرفته است. از گذشته شروع است تا حال. ریزلتش هم اینمی است که تا حال اول نمره نیست. اگه حال اول نمره باشه باید simple past tense بکنین. Okay? So it's his habit that he cannot get he couldn't get the first position. Understood there, students? Okay. Very good. The other usages sorry, our present perfect tense, which is very common usage. The first usage and this usage they have correlation with each other. So it shows an action that started in the past. You know, it shows sorry, T is missed here. It shows an action that started in the past. Where? In the past. Continues to the present and may or may not go to the future with the preposition of time, since and for. With since and for, present perfect tense is used to show an action which started in the past, come to present, and may go to the future. If you do not use them, we still can find the action which started in the past, come to present, and go to future. For example, I have taught English for 4 years. It means that 4 years ago I started teaching 6 years. 6 years ago I started teaching English and I'm still teaching English. It means that an action started in the past. Where? An action started in the past, it's continued up to present, and it may go to future. So for such actions you use present perfect tense. Second example, we have lived in Peshawar since 2004. Or instead of Peshawar, you can say Kabul. We have lived in Kabul since 2004. So it answers the how long WH question word. Which question word? The how long WH question phrase. Sorry, it's not a question word. It's a question phrase. How long, right? So we say, شاگردان عزیز ما میگیم که present perfect tense این استعمالش خیلی مهم است. It shows an action چون با استعمال اول کمی ربط داره، استعمالی که ما در آغاز لکچر خوندیم که تزی ربط داره. It shows an action ای به ما یک عمل نشون میدهد that started in the past که در گذشته واقع شده است یا شروع شده است. Continue to present تا حال جریان داره. And may or may not go to future و امکان داره یا ممکن به مستقبل یا آینده بره. With the preposition of time که اینجا ما preposition of time since and for استفاده میکنیم. Since and for در کجا استفاده میشه؟ Since is used for the duration of an action. باز the word ایره واضح براتون تشریح کنم تا شما بفهمین. Okay, there are two prepositions are used. دو preposition استفاده میشن. یکیش هست since, right? One is as since. Since چرا استفاده میشه؟ تلفظش هم ببینین sense نکنین که sense دگرش است. It shows the starting point of an action. یکی starting point of an action نشان میده. یعنی آغاز نقطه را به ما نشان میده که عمل چه وقت شروع شده است. به طور مثال I have lived in Kabul since 2010. مثلا از 2010 از این طرف ما در کابل زندگی کردن را شروع کردیم. عمل چی وقت شروع شده است؟ 2010. ماضی شروع شده است تا حال چند است؟ 2021 است. تا حال اینجا زندگی کردیم ما. درسته؟ اگر اینمی جمله را کتی فار بگوین، فار چی نشان میده؟ For is a preposition. It shows sorry my bad. It shows the duration of an action. یکی از جریان یک عمل به ما نشان میدهد. جریان یک عمل که عمل با چقدر وقت جریان داشته است، یعنی عمل چقدر تکمیل شده است. اینمی جمله را ما با فار میگیم. دیوریشن نشان میده. او starting point که چه وقت عمل شروع شده، دیوریشن که عمل تا چقدر وقت دوام شده است، چقدر وقت تکمیل شده است. مثلا ما میگم که I have lived in Kabul. I have lived in Kabul. خب چقدر وقت میشه؟ خب 10 سال میشه نه؟ به خاطر که 21 خلاص نشده. So I have lived in Kabul 14 years. 10 سال میشه که ما در کابل زندگی میکنیم. هر وقت که شما یک قسم عمل خیلی استعمال مهم است نشان میدهین، so you have to use present perfect tense. present perfect tense ما عمل نشان میدهد که در گذشته واقع شده است، حال است و ماضی مستقبل میرد. یعنی در این حالت ما since for استفاده میکنیم. دیگه اگزامپل ببینین. اگزامپل ساده ما میگم که he has worked in Salam University for 12 years. او 12 سال میشه که در پانتون سلام کار میکنه. ایره با since میگیم. شما بگوین he has worked in Salam University for نیست since. خب 12 سال میشه. از چی وقت شروع کرده باشه؟ since 2008 مثلا. یک قسمی جمله را فهمیده شد شاگردان عزیز؟ good. Now let's see. اینا هم example میتونن ببینین. The other usage of the usage number 7 is it shows an action which hasn't happened up to now. It may happen in the future. استعمال افتمش است میگه ای به ما یک عمل نشان میدهد که it hasn't happened up to now. تا حال واقع نشده است. عملی که تا حال واقع نشده باشه. hasn't happened up to now. It may happen in the future. امکان داره که در گذشته در مستقبل یا در آینده واقع شود. هر وقت و اینجا که است ما کلمه yet استفاده میکنیم که yet از نگاه گرامر adverb است. چی است؟ adverb of time. adverb of time. adverb of time سلطان یادداشت کنید با نوت با هم. He hasn't met his uncle yet. تا حال او میگه انکل خود یعنی کاکای خود یا مامای خود ندیده است. یعنی عمل تا حال واقع نشده است، امکان داره که در مستقبل یا در آینده واقع شود. هر وقت که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که در گذشته واقع شده نیست، یعنی واقع نشده است، در مستقبل واقع میشه با همکاری یت قید زمان ما این جمله را نشان میدهیم. مثلا she has never won the cricket match yet. اون میگه یک کرکت مچ را تا حال نبرده است، یعنی عمل تا حال نشده است اما امکان داره که در گذشته واقع شود. استعمال هشتم. It sometimes replaces present perfect continuous tense when it is used with the durative verbs like teach, live, know, work, be to indicate how long actions which are used to indicate duration of an action. یگان ما باز در فرقش میخوانیم در present perfect continuous tense در بینشان چی فرق است. یگان افعال هستند که اونا اینجی نمیگیرن. اگر ما ضرورت پیدا کردیم که اینها را در present perfect continuous tense با استفاده کنیم ما نمیتونیم. چی میکنیم؟ در present perfect tense استفاده میکنیم، معنایش present perfect continuous tense میشه. مثلا no یا اینجی نمیگیرن، live اینجی زیاد نمیگیرن، right؟ خو یاد داشته باشیم. Remember the preparation of time for and since are necessary to use with the present perfect tense. یاد داشته باشین که اینجا for and since خیلی مهم هستن که باید استفاده کنیم. Right? Substitute the present perfect tense. مثلا I have lived in Peshawar for 10 years. I have been living in Peshawar for 10 years. این خود ساده جمله است میتونیم که در present perfect continuous tense هم بگوییم. یک جمله این قسم باشه که want باشه. want که اینجا حالت نداره. اینا ما میفهمیم. گرامر نو میگن که داره اما قبلی نداشت. ما اگه بخوایم که want را دا اینجی بگیم یا no را دا اینجی بگیم خب نمیتونیم. present perfect continuous را استفاده کرده نمیتونیم. چی میکنیم؟ در present perfect tense استفاده میکنیم، معنایش present perfect continuous tense میشه. به طور مثال شاگردان عزیز she has wanted to get first position. She has wanted to get first position. معنی است که همیشه میخواد عالم جریان داره. ing نمیخوای. The present perfect tense میگیم future present perfect continuous tense معنی میده. For example, we have known him for his bravery. ما به خاطر شجاعت اون ما شناختیم تا حال انتمی جریان داره و شناخته رفته هستیم. So در این حالت که ما present perfect tense استفاده میکنیم با ما بجای present perfect continuous tense این substitute که از عوض میگن، جانشینش است like عوض. Okay, good. So 9 it is most often used after superlative. خیلی استعمالش وقدر مهم نیست. 10 it is used to show existence. ای با ما موجودیت را نشان میدهد. چی را شاگردان عزیز؟ موجودیت را. یک استراکچر براتون گفتم. I have been an English lecturer. ما استاد انگلیسی بودم. ریزالتش حالش که I can speak English very well. اگر ریزالت نداشته باشه باز simple past tense استفاده میکنیم. She has been a nurse. او یک نرس بود. حالت نشان میدهد. existence حال نیست. So اینا اصلا استراکچرهایش ما در آغاز درس خواندیم، تکرار کردم براتون. اگر باز میخواین میتونید ببینید از این طرف. So this is the end of the lecture, dear students. I hope you benefited. If you have any questions, suggestions regarding today's lesson, you are most welcome. Put your question forward. I'll try my best to get your question answered. Stay safe, dear students, and stay blessed. May Allah bless you.